Oh, hey, look, Gnome just crashed. We're doing nothing, and Gnome just crashed.
Nice.
Hey, there we go. Thank you, Gnome. Linux, John. It's more stable than Windows.
Oh, don't blame Linux, Chris. It's NVIDIA proprietary.
Right, of course.
Sadness.
Right. I would totally do this. There is a phone app in the works that will listen to the engine of your car, of your automobile, and diagnose it based on the sounds that it's hearing. So you could say something like, hey, Siri, is my phone working? Or, hey, Siri, is my car working correctly? Or something like that. And it says, they could, simple idea, they could maybe detect a blocked air filter or a blocked even oil filter. It can pick up certain vibrations with the microphones. They've sampled a bunch of different cars. And it looks like in the early testing from like a Mazda 2 or a Honda Civic, they're able to use just a basic microphone on an iPhone 6, get audio samples from the engine under normal conditions, and then they were able to detect things such as particle buildup in certain areas and all kinds of stuff. Air manifold leaks.
Oh, really? That's kind of cool.
Super cool. And it makes sense because when I'm driving the RV, a big part of what I often do is I don't have podcasts or audiobooks or music playing for a bit because I'll listen to the engine while I'm driving. In fact, as soon as I turn on the engine, I'm immediately, how does it sound? Is it knocking? Does it sound as vigorous as it normally does? That's my word today, vigorous.
Yeah, nice.
Is it, and they say with this, they are able to detect camshaft failures and things like in cylinders, it would be really noisy, like cylinder issues, with 95% accuracy.
Wow.
You hold up your phone to your car, and with 95% I would use the shit out of this. I am so burned out on mechanics and stuff, man. I got this truck. It has had a bogus headlight since I bought it. With the driver's side headlight,
an
not
unreal
working.
headlight.
It's bogus.
I don't think
I still can't get it fixed.
I don't think a listening phone can tell you that though.
I know.
It can tell you if the driver's crying.
Maybe it can hear the electrical whine, and if it's not there, maybe your light's up.
I don't think so. But anything that could reduce dependence on these people that keep screwing me. I'm all fired up today.
The driver is sad. The driver is sad.
Yeah, that or even you got to wonder though, like if it's that, could it also do things like while you're driving, could it listen to like your brakes? I mean, could it maybe tell you about that stuff? But I don't know. It seems like these microphones are way more powerful on these phones than we realize. I don't think we fully appreciate it. One of the sleep apps that I've had in the past used silent sonar, basically, high-frequency sounds that you can't hear with the ear, and it would broadcast them out using the speaker, and then using the microphone, it would listen for them to reflect back off your body, and it could determine when you moved in bed, because it could just the smallest movements in distance, it could determine when you're there or not there, and you had no idea what's going on because the screen's off, the thing's silent, you can't hear the tone. Everything is totally just sort of like dead from what you can see, but the thing's actually measuring objects around it using sonar.
That's really cool, but now you have no need to hire me to watch you sleep.
I know.
It's like you're sleeping with a dolphin.
Yeah, wouldn't be the first time, right?
Yeah, I wish. It's the beginning of a whole new era because then you got to figure if you can diagnose engines, then maybe you're not that far away from diagnosing bodies. Like if you could listen to the heart or listen to your gut, and the app, you wouldn't be making the call. The app would be calculating, and even if it batched it up and sent it off to a doctor or something.
And then your phone can tell you you're hungry.
Right. And then Google can track that. It'll be
You could really go for a Snickers.
And they'll launch Google Eats.
Oh my God. This is horrible
Just
already.
The ads into them. Yeah.
Google Eats, they would totally call that.
They will automatically order you food based on your preferences in the past.
Hi, John. I think you need some Cheetos.
We're going to do an abbreviated AskError segment this week, so hashtag AskError. Did your parents ever make something seem really expensive that probably looking back at now as an adult isn't that expensive? And I'll start to get you guys primed.
Okay.
In my house, it was the lights. My folks, and it came from my grandparents, literally said, "We don't own stock in the electric company. Turn off the damn lights when you leave a room." That's what they would say to us. And as a kid, I'm like, what is stock? I don't know what stock is. It took me years to figure out what they were talking about. And I look back and I go, oh, I get it. They were making a complicated joke that they're not making profit off the revenue. Oh. And then I look back at it, and you know what? It's expensive-ish, but it's not worth yelling at your kids all the time about the lights.
Yeah, you just buy stock in the electric company.
So what about you? Oh, water was one for me, but anyway, that'll be my one. You have water was yours?
Yep.
Oh yeah. Well, did they have a line or turn off the damn sink?
No, just turn off the sink.
Yeah, I'm still kind of that way, but I have very limited water now, so I live off of a tank. What about you?
We had all that. I mean, my parents, my mom came over here from England when she was like 7. They had like no money. So she grew up being really careful with money. Like my parents were both teachers. They paid off their, 30-year mortgage in 15 years with 3 kids.
How they did that, I have no idea.
I have no clue, right? I couldn't do that.
Maybe they're government spies, dude, because that's weird.
I'll ask them, Chris. But so it was pretty much everything, like we didn't eat out too much. Pizza was one. But the biggest one that was the weirdest one was we had this like pink chair in our downstairs that
like an antique.
Yeah, it was an antique.
Yeah.
It was not very good looking. It was like velour. I don't know. It was it like had that kind of thing on it. They didn't want it to, so they put all these things in it. It was this chair that was for decoration and not really for sitting. Although it was right like where you'd want to sit in if you were going to watch TV.
So there are things like that in my family that my grandparents had, and they've both passed.
Yeah.
And so their stuff has sort of been disseminated throughout the family. And I got one of the quote-unquote valuable antiques. And it's a grape lady, and she's holding a bowl of grapes.
Whoa.
Yeah, and you know what I'm talking about, Beard, because I don't put that in the RV, right? I'm not putting a grape lady statue because she's about
Someone
4
might steal
feet.
it.
She's like 4.5 feet tall, and she's made of like
Tall.
yeah, and it's made
4.5 feet tall.
yeah, and it's made of like some sort of ceramic material. And this was the valuable grape lady. It was proudly displayed in my grandparents' home, and the family was proud to pass it on to me. And I took it like a burden too. Like I'm like, where am I going to put this thing? So I put it outside the studio because I thought that would be really good karma if I just had this family heirloom, this expensive antique, right outside the studio entrance as you came in. Nobody here liked it. Beard hated it from day one.
Yeah, it's creepy.
Dia hated it. Yeah, I did have some weird thing going on with the eyes. Angela hated it. The kids hated it. I loved it. So I decided one time, I'm like, well, nobody likes it, and it doesn't make any sense here in the studio. Maybe I'll sell it.
$10,000.
No. It basically was, well, we'll take it for you for free if you want. if you want to take it off your, I'm like, what? This is a family heirloom. Like this was passed down families because it's so valuable. Sorry, sir. It's not only is it not that valuable, but you can see here it's been painted on by somebody. Like it's essentially been violated. And I'm like, what?
This is plaster and plastic.
Wow.
Yeah, it was plaster and rubber grapes, and so I just left it here outside the studio, and I don't remember how long it was. Maybe during a last or something. We were in here hooting and hollering and laughing and jumping around in the studio during the show, really having a go at it, and. It was the floorboards. It was just right out there. I opened up the door to come out from after doing the show, and it's in 15 pieces all over the floor.
And filled with jewels, right? And hollow.
No, hollow. It's plaster and it's hollow. And I was sad because it was a family, but at the same time, I was like, well, I guess if I was going to sell it, it's okay. It's time
Problem
to come.
solved.
Yeah. I haven't told my family yet, though. So hopefully nobody's listening to this.
Chris, I have a question for you, and I bring this up specifically for you. What commonly held scientific belief do you think is false?
I know what you think I'm going to say. I know you think I'm going to say dark matter.
Well, because you said it the other week.
I know. I said it before on the show. And here's my thing about dark matter is it's not that I don't believe in dark matter. It's that it seems like the easy button when we have all this science and all these theories that explain X, Y, Z, except for, well, there's this huge patch of dark stuff right here, which we can't explain that. So we made up this thing called dark matter. That's my problem, is we made it up to sort of backfill an answer. And generally, that tends to be...
But they're not
how
saying what it
science
is,
works.
though. They're just like, okay, with all these calculations, with these gravitational things, we're missing all this matter, and we don't know what it is, so we're calling it dark matter. They're not saying it is something. They're saying, like, this is what we're calling this unexplained stuff.
That I can accept. That interpretation, I'm 100% on board with.
That's what it is, though.
That's what I was going to say. Well, no. Well, yes. But it's been, in popular culture, it's been turned into, like, actual matter. Like, you can find references in, like, TV shows and movies, and the way people talk about it. They talk about dark matter like the way we talk about evolution. And we make a common mistake with both of them. And that is we talk about it like as if it's an actual singular thing that has intention or purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Like evolution, evolution, that they really got the best end of evolution for the way it looks or whatever. Like evolution made a decision, or there was like some sort of force behind evolution instead of it just being an evolving process. That's so John's definition of dark matter is the one I accept, but we treat dark matter as if in popular culture we treat it as if it's actually like an element or a substance. Like you could go collect dark matter, and then you could drive would run off a dark matter drive.
It is a substance, just one that we can't measure.
There might be more than one substance.
Yeah,
We just
exactly.
don't know,
It could be a lot of things, you know, and it could be things that totally change a lot of other assumptions too. That's the other thing I think about dark matter. I think now this is but it fits with the theme of the episode. If I was going to say the scientific belief, if you could define it as such, I would say, I don't know if belief is, I would say the scientific consensus will change. I still believe at some point we'll consider sugar up there as one of the most addictive and like you just look at like me. I am way over. Well, I am overweight. I'm not way overweight, but I am overweight. Like our bodies today look nothing like they did 80, 90 years ago. Like the common size, the average size of an American is totally different than it was 2 generations ago. It is starkly different.
You know what a great example of this
It's sugar. It's sugar.
If you watch Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, the original one, you see Augustus Gloop, who's supposed to be super fat. He doesn't look that fat anymore.
Yeah, I know. He's like, yeah. You know, I mean, I'm guilty of it too.
Mm-hmm.
I'm guilty of it as well, and I think it's because we got our industrial food system up to a point where we were able to deliver items to people that they used to go days and days and days, maybe even a week in between.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if this is true or not. I read a statistic that claimed that the average American consumer consumes as much sugar in one day as somebody in 1890 consumed in an entire week.
That's crazy, but I mean, if having come from Whole30, where I have to check the ingredients for everything, like sugar is
everywhere.
Everything.
It's in everything.
And you know, one of the other things they're saying, like if you look at some relatively recent research, as far as I know, is that insulin insensitivity, like they almost call it like type 3 diabetes, and it causes dementia. Like they think that Alzheimer's is related to sugar and too much sugar.
My view on sugar has changed a lot.
And if you have diabetes, you're more likely to have dementia.
You know, Hadia she's had diabetes since she was 7. She was diagnosed with it when she was 7. And she has helped me understand insulin and the insulin response system in a way that I never grokked before. Mm-hmm. And it's like a muscle to a degree. And it can pump out so much insulin, and at a certain point, that pump will actually give out to a degree. Hers doesn't function.
Mm-hmm.
But the insulin response thing and its recharge, when you do Whole30 and when you fast, you are recharging that response capacity. But it can become depleted, and then you become a diabetic.
Yeah, my dad has like early stages type 2 diabetes, and he did Whole30 like last year when we did it, and all of a sudden everything was like he didn't even have to take medication. Like it was like he was doing this, everything was working so well, like his blood pressure, his glucose levels,
my blood pressure
all of them
goes
were like
down.
way better, to the point where he's like, well, I don't want to have to take this medication. I'm going to talk to my doctor, and the doctor's like, if you can keep this up, we can stay off that medication.
After like the 3rd day, there's a day where my heart rate goes way up when I fast, but after about the 3rd day, my heart rate and my blood pressure go down. And Hadia's blood sugar, boom, steady as a rock. Mm-hmm. She goes from the amount of insulin she has to use just goes way down. So she can see immediate. And I've tested myself a couple times with her tester too, and you can see numbers on there on the thing. It's really remarkable. I think so. I think sugar is going to be. There's just going to be a totally different understanding of it.
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree. Like the more research they do, it's like, oh, well, this isn't so good for everybody. And you know, there's like heart disease. There's all these other things that are caused by too much sugar, and it's especially, it seems, in America. It's just everywhere.
Do you remember Jeremy? He used to work with us, did some shows with us.
I read what you're about to say.
Yeah, you remember Jeremy, right?
Yeah.
He was just diagnosed with diabetes.
Mm-hmm. Type 2.
Yeah. That's a real shame. Yeah, you probably saw on Facebook. He's got it, and it's becoming more and more common. And it's tough when you see your friends and family. A good close friend of our family has it. It was diagnosed recently as well. Mm. It's happening a lot.
My relatively new sister-in-law has it and has had it her whole life. And
the diabetes.
Yeah, and she's super good about it, really careful, and has made my brother, more aware of it. And like my brother is so much healthier than he was like before he met her. Like he's probably lost like 40 pounds. Doesn't look like, but like
Wow, really?
Yeah, because he tries to eat healthier too with her, and he's got the knowledge of it. So
Have I met her?
no.
The thing that really stood out for me is I talked about this last week. One of the things I said I'd like to see technological like advancement in my lifetime would be if they could add real time blood glucose monitoring to watches, to like the Apple Watch or a Fitbit.
Oh, I'm sure that's coming. That has got to come.
Because I think if you could monitor this, you'd immediately have an understanding of how it impacts like your mood, your energy, all of that. It sometimes takes a few days for it to really kind of get out of your system, but holy shit, it's like coming off a drug. It is actually it is 100% like coming off a drug.
Oh yeah, when you stop.
Yeah.
Sugar, yeah, well, that's what I was saying. Like, I get this like almost hangover. You're super irritable.
Yeah.
You get this headache, and
if you ever want to have empathy for a drug addict who's trying to kick a habit, or anybody that has a habit, stop taking go no sugar, and you will discover everyone around you is constantly consuming sugar. They're taking you to places that have sugar. You're always around sugar. It's in everything, and you will get grumpy. You will get headaches. Your energy will change, and then if you stick with it, you will be like all of a sudden you've cleaned up. You'll sleep better. Your energy will be. It's fucking weird, guys. And I know I talk about the sugar thing a lot, but it's this weird thing that you could do today. Just experiment with yourself and see what it feels like, and go, oh shit, I might actually really have something here. And maybe you'll go through it and you won't have any problems. You'll be fine. But it would be an interesting challenge to try.
The weird thing though is like artificial sweeteners and stuff. Like there's a lot of stuff on that like that doesn't work at all. Like because they found that there's taste buds in your stomach.
Yeah,
and
it still responds.
Tastes the sugar, and that's how it like handles it. So,
I know. I tell myself that I'm still not putting the actual sugar in my body. I'm drinking something that has artificial sweetener. What does it have in here?
Probably
something horrible.
Aspartame, I bet.
This is what I'm trying to get my sleep back on track, so I can just get off the sugar-free energy drinks and get off the caffeine. That's it. Caffeine. Oof. We'll talk about that another time. Last.ting.com. Go to Ting and get yourself a better phone plan. You see, they got this system that's been set up by the man, and it's going to hold you down. They're going to lock you into agreements. They're going to make you pay for minutes that you may or may not use. Megabytes you never really get to touch. Throttle you when you use too much. And then every single text you got to have like some sort of precog ability to guess how many you're going to get. Like, see, I'm going to need about, I feel like 300. Like, how many texts you get a month, John?
I have 3.
Yeah, and how many do you think you pay for on your plan? Hundreds, probably?
Probably hundreds.
Yeah, you don't need that.
Yeah.
You don't need that.
I need friends.
Well, here's how you get started. You go to last.ting.com. Ting is mobile that you only pay for what you use. So if you only use 2 texts, you only pay for 2 text messages. If you only use 5 minutes on the phone, you only pay for 5 minutes. You know what I'm saying? You get are you getting what the pipe that I am laying here? Are you picking it up?
So what you're saying is he saves money on Ting so he can afford to bribe people to be his friends.
And buy Red Bull, obviously.
Okay, let's do it.
I know, it's obvious. You go to last.ting.com, they'll take $25 off your phone if you want to get one from them. And if you always bring one, if you want to bring a phone, maybe you're like a person that has a phone. I don't know. I'm not gonna assume, but maybe you got a phone. Then you could bring that to Ting, and they'll give you $25 in service credit. Now get ready. You ready to have your mind blown, John?
Yeah.
Average Ting bill?
Yeah.
$23 per month per line.
That's pretty good.
That's pretty good. Now, I save about $2,000 every 2 years by using Ting. Last.ting.com. Either of you guys ever hurt a rib or like bruised a rib or something?
Yeah.
Oh, you have? Okay, good. Okay, so I need to talk.
Do it. Tell me.
A couple of days. No, it was last weekend actually. Last weekend, I was rolling around on the ground trying to get some stuff under the RV, and I just moved in a way where like I heard something pop in my left rib cage, like I heard it, and then then all of a sudden just this excruciating pain.
That sounds like you tore a ligament, actually.
Yeah, I don't think I actually hurt the rib so much as like I like tore one of my intercostal muscles or something like that.
It hurts whenever you twist now?
Oh, man. It hurts when I do anything. Anything, because it turns out that your muscles in your core get used all the time, and you have no control over when they get used.
Especially when you're a gym rat like yourself.
Right, when I'm really hitting the weights.
Mm-hmm.
No, actually, what exacerbates it the most is rigorous sex and picking up kids. Those two things have caused the most pain. And it's like, I can't get it in my dumb head that I'm physically hurt because I have a really hard time not doing anything. So Hidea took the kids to a birthday party yesterday. And I'm like, well, I'm going to stay home and I just won't move much. But then I'm just sitting on the couch and I'm like, well, I could tidy up the kitchen a little bit. You know what'd be nice is if I got the DS out of the cupboard and I got it charging. I'll go do that really quick. Okay. You know, I should probably move these, just like I just did that the whole time.
Yeah.
And I hardly got any rest. And so it's going on like a week because I exasperated the problem. And then I went and hung up lights, Halloween lights, and that made it worse. And aforementioned vigorous sex, all those things made it worse. And I was like, this is now unbearable. Like I couldn't move. Like I was like, this is horrible. I couldn't sleep. It was really fucking with my sleep. My sleep's been bad recently. Ever since the New York trip, I haven't slept well. So
time
I was,
zone or
huh?
Just time zone difference or
No, I just go through phases where I don't know if it's stress related or what, where I just can't sleep.
Have you tried hanging upside down like a bat?
That's next on my list, actually. Yeah. So what I did last night is I took one Benadryl and I passed out, kinda. Like I slept in chunks, so I still woke up and still had to get up and move around. And every time I move, and sleeping's the worst. Have you had this problem? Where you go to bed and it's like it hurts to hurts to lay on your back, hurts to lay on your side.
I've had it when I've hurt my back itself, yeah.
Oh man, do you feel really old when this stuff happens? Do you start to go like, shit, I am.
And lame. Last time I seriously hurt my back was when I was here living with you, and I heard it playing Warcraft for too long. It was the lamest thing. And it hurt for like a month afterwards.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I remember we both got hurt a little bit. You got hurt way worse. Like you had sat in a way that really tweaked it, but I was sore, but you really got screwed up. I feel like I really suck at reminding everyone around me that I'm hurt. And so I got in like a back and forth with Dia last night. We're unloading pumpkins and she's like, here you go. And she gives me the cart full of pumpkins. I'm like, okay. And I just start, every single pumpkin's right excursion. Oh, God. And she's like, well, here, let me do it. And I'm like, okay. But I didn't just say, well, will you do it? Because she knows I'm hurt and she's asking me to do it. So, all right. Instead of me just saying, no, I better not. I better not do that. And just the worst at that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. I got to learn. I got so many things to learn if I'm going to be an old man. There's so many things.
I have so much to teach you.
So I have something in the box here. I have a box in the studio. I'm going to do an audio-only unopening. It's going to be riveting. And I think it's going to be related to what we're about to talk about.
And we won't say what it is.
Well, once I open it.
We'll see if they can hear through their phones.
Yeah, see how good they are.
The phone can diagnose what it is.
Now, you have just finished Whole 30. What the hell is Whole 30?
It's no fun, Chris. That's what it is. It's basically it's kind of like paleo, except a little bit more strict, and it's only 30 days. So it is no bread, it is no sugar, no corn, no rice, no carbohydrates, nothing with added sugar, but you can eat as much as you want.
So you mean fruits are okay?
Fruits are okay. Yeah, they recommend against smoothies though, because they say just eat the whole fruit. And you do it for 30 days, and you feel better, and you lose a bunch of weight, is what they say.
Now, I've done the 30-day paleo challenge before.
Mm-hmm.
And so the 30-day thing is a very specific window because it takes about 2 weeks for your body to even kind of make a transition over.
Yeah, it can take about that long. So the whole idea is to, the bacteria in your gut tells you your cravings, right? So it can change your mood, all that stuff. So it's kind of supposed to be like a reset on that.
Yeah.
And
were you reset?
Yeah, I mean, I have such a sweet tooth. I won't just eat anything sweet usually, but
it does affect that, doesn't it?
Oh, for sure.
That's the
right away.
Like
After a week, I don't care about the sweet stuff. I still don't. But what doesn't go away is like pizza cravings. Like greasy food. I want that the entire time, and you can't help but think about like what you're gonna have when you're done. And the bread doesn't really go away for me.
Yeah,
I mean, it worked. I did it last year too, and I lost about 20 pounds.
Wow.
And this time I that was over because I kind of did it twice. So, and I didn't gain it all the way back. I was back to eating like crap again. But I was still down 8 pounds from where I was originally when I started this time. A year later, I did it last October, and I was down I think 12 pounds this time.
Now, how did your sleep change?
I slept fine. I was tired. for me, it's been consistent the times because it's the third time that I've done it all the way, and I get this horrible like sugar headache.
Like on day 3, or
yeah, about day 3. Yeah, and it just doesn't go away. It's this different kind of headache for me.
Yeah, yep. Day 3 is always the hardest for me.
And then I get really sick of eggs because you eat a lot of eggs on.
I do bacon, and I get really sick of bacon.
Well, with this, you can't really have most bacon. Because,
oh, really? Because of nitrates and stuff?
No, because, well, it does have nitrates, but bacon, almost all bacon has sugar added to it, or honey.
Oh, yeah.
So
yeah,
this is more strict than paleo, so you can't have even honey. So you can get bacon, you can have bacon if you can find it without that, and they have it at Whole Foods. It's just like, $12 a packet.
Yeah.
I was just going to say you got to go get bacon from Savannah Meats.
Yeah, I could probably do that.
Yeah, that too.
So there's places you can do it, and honestly, there's been times where I've eaten out and had like a burger and lettuce wrap, and just like this bacon, I will say, has no sugar in it.
Yeah. Would you? So I would ask if you do it again, but obviously you would because this is the third time you've done it.
Yeah.
Here is what I noticed, just to amend it. The reason why I asked about sleep is because I noticed on like the 4th or 5th day, I sleep way better. It's something significantly shifts in how I sleep and how I wake up in the morning, how I feel when I wake up in the morning. It almost makes it worth all of the hassle. Almost. I started with the 30-day challenges, and then people have been commenting on the show, and I haven't talked about it much recently. I transitioned from that to intermittent fasting, where I will maybe eat a dinner, eat a sort of a keto dinner, but not intentionally keto, just very essential, protein, some veggies.
Yeah.
And then not eat again until the next dinner.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll do that for a couple of weeks or whatever, or a week, and see how that feels. And I can generally almost always nail that unless I have other physical ailments going on, like a injured rib.
Yeah.
Or something's really screwing with my sleep and my blood sugar. So then I'll transition from that to trying to go for like a 3-day fast. And I notice essentially all of the same benefits from a 30-day challenge within that 3-day window.
Yeah.
And it's sometimes a rough 3 days if you don't enter it right, because I can lose a couple of pounds in that. And if I stick with intermittent fasting, so say I intermittent fast 3 times a week, 4 times a week, which another reason I like to do this is because I'm just too busy during the day to stop for lunch anyways. Yeah. And really, I don't like eating breakfast. I've never been a big fan of breakfast. I'm a breakfast denier, actually.
That's crazy.
I know. It's the best food. So sometimes I'll eat breakfast later.
Yeah.
I'm a huge fan of breakfast for dinner. I mean,
okay. So you like the breakfast food. You don't like eating in the morning.
Right. Exactly. You got it. So I don't mind skipping that stuff anyways. So for me, it's like, I'm hungry, but I can deal with that. And I had dropped 15 pounds before my road trip. I haven't been able to do it after the road trip. Life's been too crazy, and then I hurt myself. But significant improvement in my energy, my sleep, and of course also losing 15 pounds was nice. But the other thing is like the size of my body changes. Even though I haven't lost a significant amount of weight, like there's like a size difference. Anyway, so I can't get there again without good sleep. So it's like I'm like stuck. Yeah. I can't get any sleep. Plus this rib thing's really got me screwed up. So I can't, I'm not getting good sleep. So then it's hard to have the self-control to fast or eat well. So in this box, recommended to me by fellow podcaster Dan Benjamin, are a couple of remedies that he says will get me back on the sleep train without causing like dependency problems or screwing with my natural sleep cycles.
Just packed full of barbiturates.
Yeah. All right, here we go. I'm opening it up. All right, so in here we got 2 pills I'm going to try taking, and maybe I'll report back in the next user error here if I remember. This one, how would you pronounce that? Instatol or Inositol?
Inositol.
Inositol?
I don't know.
Inositol. He says that that'll help put you to sleep. And then also tryptophan, which is, people say is in turkey, but it's not really in turkey very much.
It's just in meat.
Yeah, and so tryptophan encourages a positive mood and promotes restful sleep. You guys all know what tryptophan is, so nothing too crazy here. Goodbye, box.
No melatonin?
Not doing exactly. I'm not doing melatonin. That's a really good, 1 milligram of melatonin, knock you right out most of the time. Except for what happens with me is something wakes me up and then I my brain doesn't produce any more melatonin for the evening, and I don't fall back asleep. That's horrible.
Yeah, I have zero problem falling asleep, as I'm sure
Yeah, I know
remember.
you don't.
Yeah.
Jeez, man. We could be watching the most riveting television of our lives, and you'll just pass the F out.
Yeah. Well, also, like, I wake up at like 4:15 in the morning now for work.
Oh,
So
wow. That'll do it, too.
When it's like around 10 o'clock, I just go.
Yeah, that was when I was getting up at. There was a period of time when I was commuting across the Sound, and I was taking the ferry, and I was getting up here at 3:45 in the morning, and whoo, yeah, I could definitely pass the F out. I'm gonna drug myself up with these.
Okay.
I'm also gonna. So I got these pills. I'm going to start eating a lot better. I'm just gonna make myself do it. Like today, we made homemade chicken noodle soup, all without the noodles, and I'm gonna eat that. And sort of reset that way. Just eat that for the rest of the day. I'm going to, after 7:30, 8 o'clock, turn off the screens, do all that kind of stuff. So I'm going to try to do everything I can. Go for a walk this evening, early after dinner if I can. All that stuff. I'm going to just try to do my best, get my sleep back on track, then get back into the fasting, because the benefits are really, really great. Because what ends up happening is when you start fasting regularly, the hunger stuff, what you learn is it comes in cycles. So your body has a clock, and it's amazing. Yeah. It is 10:30 on the nose. I get ravishly hungry. And so once I learn, okay, well, this will pass by 10:45, 10:50, or maybe 11:30 at the latest. Then all of a sudden, that crazy hunger pain is manageable because these do fade. They pass, and you get used to that. And so once you get used to that, and you get into regular fasting, I get to a point where I don't break the fast until I'm like, you know what? It sounds like now's a good time to eat. And then I'll eat. And it's like, there's no pressure there, and it feels great. I sleep better. I lose weight. It also helps it also helps promote your immune system.
Yeah.
So there you go. There's your somehow health talk on the user error. Actually, it's more about crazy-ass experiments I'm going to be doing to my body and reporting back to try to improve my sleep, because the key to even taking care of yourself is getting some goddamn rest.
Until you inevitably screw up and get Jimmy John's.
So true.
Oh, that white bread.
All right, I got one more in me. One more for you guys.
All right.
What was something that really sucked when you were a kid that now as an adult, pretty great? Like you like maybe even love it, or it's at least okay in your book, but you hated it as a kid, or at least disliked it.
Let's see. Sucked as an adult?
No, it sucked as a kid. Great as an adult.
Kid. Okay.
Right? Sucked? Yeah, I think that. Yeah,
okay.
We could do either way.
I'll do either one. I'll do both.
Okay.
All right. Well, the easiest, most obvious one, naps. Right? Everybody hates naps as a kid. Yeah. But now
naps going to bed early.
If I was told at work, like, hey, it's nap time, oh man,
You'd be
I
all
would stay
over
at that place forever. I would stay at that place forever. They wouldn't have to pay me that much.
There are some places.
I know. Not my current place.
No.
Yeah. Like, oh.
I have a bed of my office.
Let me get my pajamas.
But here's the thing: is I have a bed of my office, and I'm like, I'll take a nap. One of these days, I'll take a nap. I never get around to taking naps.
Yeah, when you have your own business, it's different.
Jeez.
Like I would, if it was at my work, I just like put on my pajamas. I get like maybe a graham cracker
Totally,
treat,
dude.
right?
Put a little cot under your
graham
desk.
cracker, yeah, and a pillow. And maybe like play some like light Disney lullaby music.
So so can you think of something as an adult that you now hate that as a kid you thought was great?
Going to movies with kids, right?
Oh,
like,
good one.
Like I don't mind seeing like a kid movie with my kids, but like if you go into a movie with like a regular grown up movie and there's just some crying kid, and I say this as a father, like it's just the worst, right?
Yep, and especially when it's your kid.
And some kid, it's just so embarrassing because you know. On a personal level, like how irritating that is. You're like, and I'm doing this to everyone else.
And I'm really
myself.
Self-conscious about that.
Oh,
like,
me too.
I try not to impose on other people when I'm out in public.
Well, right. Yeah. Like even restaurants, like when I've had like a kid, we took my kids, this was a few years ago, to a restaurant right after getting like vaccinations.
Oh yeah. Oh no.
And it was like late and the vaccination took a while. So they were starving. So they were like grouchy. And it's just like a tantrum in the restaurant. I'm like, oh God, I got to get out of here.
Yeah.
And we literally just like packed up and left. Before ordering, fortunately, so we didn't. It wasn't like
you were just like, this is our last chance to bail. If we don't bail now, then we're stuck here until the food. And
like, I'm like literally like holding them as they're like kicking. And I'm like, I'm sorry, everybody.
Wow, yeah, boy, that's good. All right, I'm gonna still think on mine. Do you have anything, Beard?
Well, first, grocery shopping. I can now get whatever the hell I want.
Yes.
That is still not fun for me.
No, but it is nice to be able to just buy, like, if you want to get a thing of juice, that was another thing in my family. No juice, and if I wanted juice, that'd be the frozen concentrate crap.
Oh, always for me.
Yeah, if you're craving something, you can actually get it.
Yeah, that is so nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hear my kids now, like Abby says, when I'm an adult, I'm going to, whatever it is that she wasn't able to do. And I'm like, yeah, you will. You will.
And then secondly, and I thought I'd hate this as an adult when I was a kid, working is actually something that is nice because sometimes it's satisfying, but most of all, you still did the whole, kind of 9 to 5 thing when you were a kid going to school.
Yeah, they prep
except
you.
now you get paid.
That's true.
Yep.
They prep you as a... That's funny. Yeah, I guess the nice thing about working would be that you have the power to then buy things, right? And then I remember as a kid getting the power to purchase.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, now everything's my responsibility to purchase. So that's probably a good one for me and my parents started to make me pretty aware of that by high school, starting to make me aware of the cost of food and the juices and stuff like that. And about the time I started making my first paycheck, it was, well, you could buy that if you want it. You can buy that.
Yeah.
That's fine.
We're trying to instill it in my kids, but they just like, I don't know, maybe they're just a little spoiled because they just like, money concept is still like, they're starting to get it like, oh, that's expensive. But they'll say that with, whatever. It's like, oh, I don't know, that's $15, Greg. It's like, oh, that's a lot.
Yeah, we will do that, and I'll be like, well, so that's so if it's Bella, that's the cost of a plush. I'll put it in, but it still doesn't feel like it sinks in.
Yeah, we're trying.
DigitalOcean.com. Go over there, create an account, and then apply our promo code of power and authority. Here's the thing. It's one word. You smush it together. You apply it to your account. You get the $10 credit. Now, here's why that's awesome. Just their base rig that you could do, you could run an email server on, run a website on, run a blog on, run a chat server, run a Mumble server. Well, I'm not going to tell you what you can do because you're smart, but for $5 a month, you could run that thing 2 months for free.
And if you get DigitalOcean, you're supporting the coal industry because it's a train.
No, Rika, that's our other sponsor, Coal Inc. This is DigitalOcean. They give you servers up in the cloud on their crazy great infrastructure with all SSDs.
Are they electric trains?
They might be. They might be like Tesla trains that we don't even know about yet. Because you think about it, DigitalOcean's one of the first in on SSDs, so they'd probably be the first in on a Tesla train if there was a Tesla train carrying droplets around the country.
So
obviously,
it's the DigitalOcean Hyperloop.
I think, although they'll probably call it something better than that. I mean, Hyperloop sounds like something out of sci-fi, right? Where DigitalOcean, they got names for stuff. But it's good names. Like
iOcean?
No, check out Spaces. You know what you use that for? Space to store stuff, right? It's their new object store. It's Spaces. Droplets. They give it a good name, not a Hyperloop. Come on. Hyperloop, that's some 1960s. DigitalOcean.com, you go over there, use our promo code. Here's the thing. It's one word.
Be part of the digital tsunami.
That's right. And check out their dashboard. They've got a dashboard for days. They got team accounts. They got the object storage as well as the block storage, lightning fast networking, not 1 gigabit, not 10 gigabits, not even 30 gigabits, but 40 gigabit connections to the hypervisors. The hypervisors run Linux. It's a thing of beauty. And you can deploy an operating system of your choice. A Linux of your choice, a BSD. I'm not going to judge. DigitalOcean.com. Just use our promo code. Here's the thing. This Halloween marks a failure for me, I feel like. I essentially conceptualized and started recording clips for my vlog last Halloween. I didn't really get into it till a couple of months later, but I started the process of the vlog and the idea of the vlog about a year ago this time. And now I feel like it's not nearly where I wanted it to be. I'm really disappointed in myself because I just haven't gotten my shit together enough to stick with it.
Yeah.
Because there's just so much going on.
You got to take time. I mean, you're putting music, you're doing aerial shots, right?
It does take time. But there's a lot of things I've done in here where they just take time, and I can generally develop a rhythm. Mm-hmm. Like the Unfiltered show is a fucking intense amount of work. Oh, sure. But I develop a rhythm for it, and as long as I stay in my rhythm, I can make it work. But what the vlog for a year straight, what the vlog has represented is me struggling to find a rhythm or a groove for it. And what I've discovered is I feel like some of the other grooves in my life are so deep and have so much momentum behind them now that I'm not really able to sort of switch tracks like that anymore like I used to. When I was younger and maybe, I don't know, had less going on or less responsibilities, I felt like I could make drastic commitments to new ideas, and I could just work and work and work until they were materialized and I had a thing there. And
like
I
your
launched
vision board.
And I launched the vlog kind of with that same intention. that I would build up a momentum, and then I would just keep that momentum going. And I managed to build momentum a couple of times, and each time I would watch the vlog grow, and I would watch it go up and up and up, and then something would come up, or some big change, or something that required a lot of my time would occur, as happens, and I would watch the momentum die. And I've done that a couple of times now. And now when I release videos, they get, way less views, because the way it works with the YouTube algorithm is the more time you spend watching a creator, the more likely it is to suggest that creator to you, because it knows that's a solid source of revenue generation. That if you watch that video, you'll potentially see a pre-roll, a mid-roll, and a post-roll. And that's a great customer for YouTube. And so they'll show you the creator. So say you'll see this on YouTube all the time. Say all of a sudden you start watching a couple of Joe Rogan clips. I did this the other day. I watched one Joe Rogan interview, and it was like a clip of a Joe Rogan interview. Mm-hmm. And now I got Joe Rogan all over my YouTube page. All over. He's just Joe Rogan everywhere. And because I watched the whole video. I searched for it, and I watched the entire thing. And that's a moneymaker for YouTube. And the issue is because I'm not staying current with the vlog, I don't get that sort of algorithm boost, because I'm not a big source of a lot of playback time. And my videos are usually around 9 to 10 minutes. So and you can only do a post roll if it's over 10 minutes-ish. So it's, I'm not a big revenue generator. Plus I don't get a lot of views. Mm-hmm. So I would really have to commit to like 3 vlogs minimum a week to really kind of build the momentum back up.
3 a week.
And I just don't have that in me.
How long would you say each one takes you to do?
Well, I mean, the shooting is hard to answer, because it's always going to be topical, right?
You're right.
And sometimes I travel. But
as far as like editing, getting the music in, cutting it together?
6 or 7 hours.
Okay.
So that's why it's 3. It's a huge time commitment.
Oh, yeah.
3 plus the shooting time.
Yeah.
Which
could vary immensely and maybe not even be told in one day.
But the problem is it's one of the things I love the most to do. It's one of the things I enjoy doing at JB the most is the vlog, because it sort of is the most visual thing that Jupiter Broadcasting produces now, because we've spun down Linux Action Show. Mm-hmm. And so it's my commitment to a real video production. And sometimes I've done hardware reviews, sometimes I've done travel stuff. I've toyed with different formats and stuff. And it's gotten universally really positive response. But I'm frustrated with myself because I can't make it happen. And so it's sort of like, now I'm here, I'm a year later into the experiment. I'm like, okay, I got to admit, I'm not going to get my shit together on this.
You think so?
I think so. It's sort of like it feels like something that I used to be able to commit I just can't do it. It's just too much.
Well, yeah, it's also more demanding than any of the JB shows, because it's 100% self-generated content.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know. But it felt like it was a challenge I was up for. I think that's what it was. I felt like it was a challenge I was ready for, and then I did it, and
then you realized you only have 7 days in the week.
And a lot of shows.
Yeah. And some kids. And some business stuff. Yeah, no, it's just still, though, it's, I don't know, there's something to it. Like when you think you can accomplish something, and it's not without tons of value. Like,
okay, Chris, you get back to the vlog. We'll kick you off a couple shows. You'll have more time.
The other thing that's really frustrating about it is I'm not sure I can stop either, because I'm kind of, in a way, I'm creatively compelled to do it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's why I just put one out 2 days ago, or a few days ago.
Yep.
I don't know. I'm just sort of compelled. I get the footage. I get the itch to talk about something, and it sort of never goes away unless I make a vlog about it. So I can't really kill the vlog, but I also just have to accept that it's not going to be like a sustainable revenue source.
Right.
Unless something changes in the future.
Just do it for yourself. Your own creative itch.
I find it to be good editing wise. Like it's great. It keeps my skills and my photography skills up and my drone skills up. So I find that just valuable, which has benefited all of the shows on the network. So
there are a lot of vloggers that did start out just doing stuff off and on, and eventually they caught on.
Well, that's the other thing is YouTube is a shithouse, and vloggers are a bunch of D-bags most of the time, and it's not really a part of it. It's not really what I want to be a part of. I don't want to play that game. Like you can everybody knows this stuff, but I sat down and looked at it, and you can take a channel and you can look at their videos where they put tits or ass in the still versus the ones where they have a dude in the still, and it can be a difference of 30, 40, 50, even 100,000 or more views.
Fine, I will put my tits and ass on.
Thank you.
Yeah,
that's all I'm asking for. But see, that's like And you notice all the big vloggers do that from time to time. Roman Atwood puts his wife's tits in the video stills all the time. Casey Neistat will put Candace's tits in there if he can, or somebody on the beach if he can. You have to play this sort of clickbait game to a degree to have any traction at all. It's fundamentally, if you don't do it, you do not have any success. And it's like, how much do you want to compromise? Is it the title? Is it the still? Is it the content? Where do you want to make your compromise? And I hate that too. But if you don't do that shit, you can't get any traction because it's the clicks that juice the algorithm and that actually makes it show up in everybody else's feed.
Well, that's if you care about the revenue generation, right? Otherwise, it's just for you.
Yeah. It would be nice because of the amount of work it takes.
Yeah.
And what it really is for me, it's like I have very ambitious ideas that would involve travel and equipment.
Mm-hmm.
I think that what my actual goal was for the vlog when I started wasn't to make money off it, but was to generate a small source of monthly income for like camera equipment or a lens. Like, so maybe every 4 months I could buy a lens.
So it's hard to justify the work and the effort if there's nothing.
Yeah, unless I do about 3 a week. I need to get like about 20 to 35,000 views. Well, not even that much. Anywhere between 10 and 15,000 views, I could probably start financing camera equipment or purchases a few times a year, which would be really nice because otherwise I don't really have a business reason to invest in that stuff at the moment. But it's a skill set that's extremely valuable. Anyway, so I'll probably keep plugging away at it, but it's a weird process. It's weird to start something and then be a year later and go, oh shit, I've been heads down on this for a year. I've been agonizing about this for a year and I still haven't really made much progress. But then again, I look at it and I go, it's people that watch it have really enjoyed it. So there's something to it, but
yeah,
I can actually end it. It doesn't all have to be negative. I guess a positive aspect of the vlog, even if it was never a big revenue generator, it actually has cost us quite a bit of money, but thanks to it, I mean, we've been all over the place.
Yeah.
Gone down to California and Texas and
Chris
New York.
the Traveler.
Yeah, so it's given us a great reason to travel. And it's kept my video skills fresh, which I think is why we got invited to Dell or Canonical's event.
Yeah,
So
it's given you new contacts too.
yeah, and then that actually has fed into all of the shows. So there is a real positive. So that's probably why I should keep at it. But, otherwise, I'd have to like shift to a different genre.
Yeah. Well, what you should do is, I think I've read like the people who do like the unboxing, like kids, collectible stuff.
Oh,
they
that's
just, like,
huge.
they make tons of money.
Yeah.
So why don't
My
you just do
kids
that?
stumble across those all the time.
Plus free
and
toys,
They
right?
have hundreds, millions of views sometimes. Yeah, people send them stuff. We could do like beard unboxing where it's just the beard down to the box.
Oh yeah, I would watch that.
Beard boxing therapy.
I don't get why they're so popular though, but they're nuts. Like, and it's not just kids.
Yeah.
Like, every time I'm up on YouTube, I see that unboxing therapy guy with his blue background and some
sure.
stupid expression. I don't watch him ever though. I can't. Do you watch him, dude?
Occasionally.
You do watch the unboxing videos.
Occasionally.
I've not seen an unboxing video. I have.
I think the appeal is that you get the rush and fun of opening a package without having to pay for that package.
So you're vicariously living through the YouTuber who is unboxing.
Yes.
See, this is why vlogging wouldn't work for me because I don't live some like highfalutin life like Casey Neistat or John Olson. I'm not like, rich flying around the world. So there's nothing to vicarious. I'm just a normal guy. There's no vicarious living to be had. But this unboxing stuff, I can kind of see it. But what gets me about it is it is the whole age range. It's from young child to adults.
Yeah.
So there's something fundamentally about humans. But then I start weirding out, you guys, because when I'm watching that stuff, I go, what am I'm actually not doing anything. I'm sitting in a box on a cushion watching a screen while something streams at my brain, and I'm not doing a thing. I'm getting an experience, but it's not even that valuable of an experience. And I start going like, there's so many other things I could be doing with this time right now, and I go mental.
Well, you like your gadgets, Chris, and this would maybe just watching would save you some money because you'd be like, that's what it'd be like if I got it.
That just makes me want it more, though.
See,
Does it?
Chris, but that means that you need to become the unboxer.
Yeah, I suppose.
There you go.
Yeah, I suppose. But the problem there is, you know how I am with boxes. They just collect. I can't process that many boxes, and there'd be so much crap to send back, and I'm horrible at sending crap back, dude.
Oh, you don't get to send anything back. You just get companies to send you things to open. You just get to keep.
That I'm on board
No,
with.
the other way you can go is, this is what my kids love, is there's this family called the Holderness family. Have you heard of them?
No.
It's, from what I can tell, because my wife watches these too, it's this guy who used to be an anchor for some...
It's a vlog?
It's a series of videos. And used to be an anchor for some news and his wife I think was kind of an actress, but not a high, was like in Spider-Man or something, but not, yeah. But he quit his job, and now they make music videos, parody songs with his family.
Yes,
and it's
huge.
Like it's huge. Like I see them on, I know
they have to be good.
But it's like algorithm. Yeah, so they write these songs and they do all these things, and they're making. That's their job now, is doing that. And
yeah, so, I've come across.
So write some songs.
Right.
Get out your guitar.
Yeah.
Break out your singing voice, which I know you have.
Yeah, I do.
And get on it.
Or I could get into response videos. So I'd be like triple response deep. Those are big on YouTube too. So I could start a whole new genre of response to the response. Right?
Yeah. I'm in here too. Yeah.
So, Chris, I see you finally got a Nintendo console like I told you to.
You were right, Beard. You were right. I will admit I went into this really biased. I'm going to review a really old piece of equipment that probably nobody's interested in buying right now.
Finally.
Maybe I can change your mind. But I actually think there's some lessons to take away from this that could apply to technology that's going to ship in 2018. I want to talk about, brace yourselves and stick with me.
All right. Okay.
The Nintendo 2DS. I think we can learn. I think our current technology, like the latest iPads and Samsung tablets and phones, could learn a lot from the Nintendo 2DS. First of all, it's a flat product. It's based on the 3DS, the Nintendo 3DS handheld game console, but they flattened it out and made it a slab. It looks like a piece of bread, and the screens are both on there, and there's no 3D functionality. And it's a little bit cheaper. You can pick it up for like $90, and I grabbed it. I grabbed it for Dylan for his birthday, April. And I thought, he's never had a game console before. He doesn't care.
Right.
So I got this one. And it was released October 12th, 2013 by Nintendo as just a press release. They didn't have an event. They didn't include it with a big Nintendo splash. They're like, oh yeah.
And we got this.
And we got this too. And the two screens, the top one's 3.5 inches, the bottom one's 3 inches. The resolutions are small. It's like 400 by 240. It's got a dual-core ARM. It's an ARM 9. It has 128 megabytes of internal storage and 6 megabytes of video RAM. And it has a 4 gig SD card, too. Now, the hardware itself it's got like a mono speaker. It's decent, but it's kind of underwhelming. It's got a 1300 milliamp battery, which actually makes this thing last for days. So that's the physical design of it. It's got a couple of cameras on it for some augmented reality stuff. And that's basically it. But I want to talk about what really makes it great. So first of all, it does have a really good build quality. It's a very sturdy piece of equipment. It can really handle the kids punishing. It's got it's got a good spot to tuck away the little pencil. It's got charging ports. It's got headphone ports. It's got a volume slider, and my favorite frickin' feature: a physical toggle on the sleeve. Now watch this. I toggle this thing over, and it comes right back to it. Like, it's just immediately available. It's instantly on. I toggle it off. It's immediately off. And it's that little functionality there makes it really great for just a quick pick up and play. So that instant feature is one of my favorites. The battery life for days can't be beat either because it's like a no-stress device. I just take it with us, and I always know it's going to be charged up. And I really, really, really like the cartridge game feature. Cartridges, they're about this. It's legitimately the size of a big SD card. If this isn't the best damn thing ever, because you can move it around machines, you can save a copy of it offline, and then you combine that with the digital downloads for the stuff you do want to get online, it is... I wish all systems had these cartridge systems, or SD card slots or something, like all portable phones, everything. It's so great. The games are good quality. They're really good games. They're great for
good games for that, yeah.
Great for adults, great for kids. Actually, I think it's the best Mario I've ever played.
Which one?
Mario 2... I'm going to link in the show notes. I'm going to link a bundle of Mario and the 2DS. I would buy this. It's $90. I would buy it just for Mario. It's a really good Mario.
I played the one for just the regular DS, the first.
Yeah, I think maybe this is Super Mario Bros. 2.
Mm-hmm.
Love this game. Love. And they also have the new Super Mario Brothers, which is also available
Yeah.
for the DSs, which is also really good.
That's the one
The 2D side-scrolling Marios are just my favorite, and they just went all in on these Marios. Plus, they take advantages of the DS's features. It's the replayability on these games is way better than anything you get on a phone or a tablet.
Well, you know, the new Odyssey mixes the
That's new Mario.
64 and 2D.
I'm really curious to see how that is because
Yeah.
I'm not a huge fan of the 3D. They kind of lost me at the 64, and I know I'm an outcast.
Yeah.
I know, but they kind of lost me there. So let's talk about the cons, though. See, these are the things that I feel like iPads and phones could learn from. This makes something that's built for gaming. This feels like it's purpose-built for gaming. I'd like to see why couldn't somebody do this with a tablet? Like put controls around it, make it a little big, or make it small. Like the screen size doesn't bother me at all, actually. Make it a high-resolution, small screen. This whole thing could be glass. It could be a tablet with controls on the side, kind of like the Switch is, which we'll get to. But I want to talk about the cons for a moment, because these are some of the mistakes that I don't feel like new mobile devices are making. This thing has a proprietary charger. You know, new devices, USB-C mostly, Thunderbolt.
Also solved by the Switch.
Yes, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Expensive games, you know, $30 to $60 for the games.
Yeah, but that's for like every console or even PC.
Yeah, I know. But if you're comparing this to a tablet, like for me, the alternative for my kids would be an iPad, and the games there are like $1.99.
Yeah, but they're also really terrible games.
Kids don't care though. You know,
They don't care.
They'll play it. They'll play it. They don't care. I care. That's why this is like something that's like, wait a minute. I got this for the kids and I'm loving this? Like I did not expect that because all these apps suck.
Because Dylan's nowhere to be seen right now.
Yeah, and I've got it in my hands.
I'll pay 15 times as much for a game if it's way better.
Well, that's just it. Like I could play this Mario Brothers 2. I could play this for years.
For hundreds of hours.
Yeah. So, and there's no iPad game like that for me. But if you're not a big Nintendo follower, like if you don't track Nintendo, if you've mostly tracked other electronics, it's harder to find like which DS is the latest DS because they've got like the DS, the 3DS, the 2DS, a 2DS that flips like a 3DS.
You want the one labeled new Nintendo 3DS.
Well, that's just it. We're like, and the other thing, where do you buy Nintendo hardware? Because I would have thought it had been Amazon, but Amazon's a shit show. It is like when you look at all the, if you're not buying the Switch, it is a straight up shit show. Like it doesn't make any sense which ones are the latest. So half of them don't come from Amazon. Is there like some Nintendo outlet store? Is there like some Nintendo Direct store I could just go to?
Well, you can buy them off the Nintendo site.
Okay. And
just go to a GameSpot and just ask.
Here's the other thing. This was released in 2013. It is low-end hardware with a low-end screen, and it is a simple design. This thing is still $90. This is the other thing about the Nintendo hardware. Good and bad, kind of like, I suppose, Apple hardware. You pay a high premium, it's well-built, and the value stays, you know? So that sort of held me up, actually, because I don't really have money to drop on a 3DS, but I want to get myself a 3DS. So if anybody in the audience wants to sell their lovely, lightly used 3DS to me, email me, Chris at JupiterBroadcasting.com, or actually even better, just tweet me, Chris LAS, because I might pick it up off you, because I'm not going to buy one of these new, because there's like, if you get like a good one, it's a couple $100 still.
Well,
but it has made me think maybe I want to get the Switch, and I know you just recently picked up the Switch.
I did, just a couple weeks ago, and yeah, it's going to blow everybody's mind, but the only game I have is Breath of the Wild, which is just as good as everybody says.
Are you hooking up to the TV, or are you playing it handheld?
Well, that's why the Switch is so good for me, because my wife is not a gamer. My kids could watch actually Breath of the Wild fine, but a lot of the games I play aren't really kid friendly. It won't be as much of a problem with
I hadn't
Nintendo.
thought of that. So you can take it off the TV. And...
that's my primarily use it for. So I play it like if I get to work early or when I'm waiting to pick up the kids from school. It's so easy, and it's got a button like your 2DS does. It's just
sleep?
Goes straight to sleep.
Oh, I love that.
Press the same button 3 times, and you're back. And it is
cartridges still.
Cartridges, but you can also download.
It has an SD card slot.
It has an SD card slot.
They actually managed to put an SD card slot in this. I just don't know what the hell you use it for. Maybe for saving games? I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. I think it comes with a 32 gig, I want to say. I got the neon blue, neon red one just because why not be a little flashy, right?
How much was the whole setup, if you don't mind me asking?
It was $300 plus game, right? Now, the problem is the Joy-Cons, if you want to get new Joy-Cons, and you can kind of use them like one player each, right? So as it comes out of the box, you can play 2-player games right away. But if you want another Joy-Con set, it's $80, which is really high for those. And I found out that one of my
as much as a 2DS
Joy-Cons, the the clicker
Yeah.
part, like the movement control on the left side, like the click didn't work. So I sent that back to them yesterday. It's under warranty. They'll fix it. They say it's a week turnaround.
And you're like 2 solid weeks in owning this thing.
Yeah, but I love it.
So you would buy again.
I would buy it again. Yes.
So you've owned quite a bit of game consoles. Where would you rate this amongst the consoles you've owned over the years?
I don't know. It's pretty high. Yeah, I know PC gaming should be the way to go, but just the way my life is, sometimes console works better, especially when I have games for my kids.
It is a lot better for like family stuff.
Yeah, and that's one of the reasons also behind the Switch. It's like, there's so many kid-friendly games for Nintendo.
Yeah.
So, but they're still enjoyable from an adult. As far as ease of use and the portability is so big to me. The console that I played the most prior was actually my Vita, just because it's portable. I have a PS3 4, excuse me, and there's some good games on that too that I've really enjoyed, and I've had Xbox 360 and even Dreamcast.
You've had like all the Xboxes.
No, I've never had the one.
Oh, you didn't?
No, don't have a one.
Oh, but you had a 360 and you had an original.
Yep.
Now, would you say this is, if you could only buy one console out of all of those, would this be the one?
It's still early. It's just 2 weeks old, but I'm really excited about some of the things, especially like I have this dream of playing
Vita and you get the console.
Yeah, exactly. And there's people give knocks on it for not having enough games, but there's actually a lot of really highly rated games for this.
What about the old ones? Can you get the old classics yet? I know they're working on it.
I think they're working on some of them. I think I just read something about how like they want to be able to do, at least for some of the games, ports for it. But I also heard it's not super easy to do, and the hardware is not as the hardware isn't like
that's kind of their thing
hardware.
now. That's Nintendo's thing.
But you just don't care like
right. That's
Zelda.
I made the point of mentioning the hardware on this thing because I never knew it. I looked it up this morning before the show. I don't care. Everything works great and it's fast. Everything feels super fast.
Zelda is so good, and it's supposed to be a little bit better when it's docked too. At least for like perform a little bit better when it's docked.
Yeah. I've heard Zelda's a great game.
It's so good because it's just open world. Stuff's already been written about it, but you're not tied to going to one place, then the next, then the next. You can go anywhere, and you'll probably die a lot of times, but you can go anywhere. And I hear they're doing the same thing with Odyssey, which I don't have yet.
Yeah, it looks interesting.
I will probably soon.
Yeah, it's like Mario in a city.
Yeah, I know. New
Donk City. Yeah.
And I just I dream playing like Mario Kart with my kids. I think would be a lot of fun.
That was a big revelation for me. Was when we got an Android TV that could play some video games, and then I got a couple of controllers, and I was like, oh, this is why people buy consoles. Mm-hmm. It's a social gaming right there with your family or friends, whatever your situation is. I gave Dylan my iPad this weekend because his sister broke his.
Ew.
So I am now tabletless for the first time since tablets were really kind of a thing, and I don't feel an urgency to replace it. It is nice on the weekends. It's sometimes how I worked was I would have Slack and email and Telegram, and I would just use my tablet, and I could just leave my computer at work even if I wanted to. But I'm looking at it now. I'm like, am I going to replace it with another tablet? And if I did, which kind of tablet? Or should I go the route of a Switch? And I think that's why they've priced it around that tablet price point.
Maybe.
And if I my thought process is I'm due for a new phone, if you can believe it or not. I
don't.
Now I'm on a system where I turn this one in.
Okay.
So I won't have multiple phones anymore. So I turn this one in and I get a new phone. And I think I'm going to get a bigger screen.
Yeah.
And I'm going to do some of my tablet stuff on my phone, and I'm tempted to do the Switch and just say no more tablet.
Right now you can find Switches. I think it's going to be hard when it gets closer to Christmas, but right now
that's a good point. I was actually thinking about waiting until Christmas.
I think it's going to be hard then.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Especially with Odyssey out now, and Odyssey being like crazy.
Oh, it is out?
Yeah, it came out Friday.
I don't follow it very closely.
It came out Friday, and it's super highly reviewed.
Oh, geez. So then I probably should. I mean, because I think if I'm going to do it, because then I could actually get games for the kids for Christmas, which would be much more doable. Because
Amazon had a stock. It's too bad it doesn't come. I think they might package it now with Odyssey if you can find that package. But I mean, I had to buy Zelda with it, and that was my clear first purchase, and no regrets.
Damn it, John! You're gonna cost me money.
Yeah, you are gonna love it though. Like it's just so there. Like you just whatever you want. Boop.
I think it's something to there really is something to the fact that this is what Nintendo does, and they might not make the crazy greatest gaming hardware, but I'm not getting. I wouldn't be getting a console to play the latest and greatest graphics. Like if I
No.
went that route, I'd build a rig like
Yeah.
Beards. Otherwise, I mean, why fight it? Why not just embrace the consoleness of it and get a piece of hardware that's literally built from the ground up by a company that's been doing it for hundreds of years now?
Yeah.
Well, the reason
Not
you
that
get
part.
those high-end consoles is because they have exclusives.
Yeah, and see, that just doesn't really. The Linux user in me is so used to really big blockbuster games coming out that aren't available for my platform that I have accepted that reality a decade ago. So for me now, it's like, well, if I can, it's the same thing with. This is why gaming on Linux works so well for me, because the games I want to play are now available for Linux. And that doesn't mean it's the year of the Linux desktop for everybody, but it means the ones I want to play are on Linux, so good enough. The only game I would add to that list is Stowe, and most of the time Star Trek Online can be played under Wine. So, and I only want to play it a couple of times a year these days, so the timing tends to work out. So why not just embrace the consoleness of the Nintendo and say, screw the tablet,
Yeah.
I'm done with this shit show. I'll just use my phone for that stuff. Because, the other thing is I'm not going to get another data connection for my tablet. I'm done with all of that. And I always have data on my phone. So I might give it a go, and if I do, I'll report back. If I don't, well, then I'll probably never mention it again.